my beautiful coffee beans. We've got an ass-kissing sheriff out of Sumner County. We've got a disgraced attorney out of South Carolina getting a new trial. Skeletal remains where officials are begging the public's help to help identify out in Virginia Beach. We've got planes going down off the coast of Florida with Coca-Cola in them. Updates on Nancy Guthrie and breaking news on the Lynette Hooker case. So guys, come on in, sit on down, and welcome to the Bullhorn Betty, the Betty Show. Happy Hump Day, folks.
Do a job.
Happy Hump Day.
It's part of the job. It is a dangerous. I can't imagine that there's any profession that's more dangerous.
Bullhorn Betty rocks.
Yes, we do. Come on in, Coffee Club. It's nice to see you. It is Happy Hump Day. We've got a lot of breaking news to break down for you.
Files on the table. We clocking early. Hunt was unstable. Bullhorn Betty on the curb, voice raised. Flip-flop queen with the homemade phrase. Notebook thick, got the screenshots flag. Names in red ink, every rumor, every tag. Late night live stream, screen glow on her face. Truth in her throat, got a lawman's pace. She don't blink when the threats roll through. Come see me, she says, if you think that's cute. Bullhorn Betty in the coffee club. We hunt bad guys till the sun comes up. From the front porch steps to the courthouse rug. We fighting for the ones that they gave up. Bullhorn Betty in the coffee club. Sip that truth from a styrofoam cup. From the quiet streets to the madhouse buzz. We ain't letting go till we get that justice. Insane Asylum, that's our crew nickname. Laugh so loud while we track these names. Whiteboard wild with the webs we spin. Pen to pen, see the pattern sink in. Turbo shaking when the case goes cold. We stir it back up, won't do what we're told. Doorstep question, side eye stare. Where were you that night? We hanging right there. Bullhorn Betty in the coffee club. We hunt bad guys till the sun comes up. From the front porch steps to the courthouse rug. We fighting for the ones that they gave up. Bullhorn Betty in the coffee club. Sip that truth from a styrofoam cup. From the quiet streets to the madhouse buzz. We ain't letting go till we get that justice. This for the faces on the milk cart labels. This for the families praying at tables. This for the names that the news won't say. We say them out loud every single day. Every day. If you're running in the dark, better feel that fear. Betty got a bullhorn right in your ear. Coffee club crazy, but we think so clear. One small town, whole world gonna hear. Hey! Bullhorn Betty in the coffee club. We hunt bad guys till the sun comes up. From the front porch steps to the courthouse rug. We fighting for the ones that the day gave up. Bullhorn Betty in the coffee club. Sip that truth from a styrofoam cup. From the quiet streets to the madhouse buzz. We ain't letting go till we take vengeance.
Da-da-da. Da-da-da-da. Hello, my beauties. Well, hello, my beauties. Hello, it's nice to see you this beautiful hump day. Hello, 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 ha, ha. A legend in my own mind. It is so nice to see you. Happy hump day. Sorry we're not coming at 10. We're coming early, but I told you, I warned you guys this week was going to be super, super busy for me. As many of you guys know, I've been working on a lot of stuff behind the scenes for a lot of stuff we don't talk on the scene, right? And that is related to our politics. We're not going to dive too much in it, but you guys know we had an amazing night last night. I'm sorry. I am a proud American citizen this beautiful, gracious Wednesday morning. I will tell you that. I will tell you that. Thank you, America. Thank you, America. We're going to give America another round of applause. Yes, baby. So as you guys can imagine, oh, I forgot, in case you guys missed it, in case you guys missed the Facebook post, it is official. It is official. It is official. Okay, I don't know if you guys heard the news about Betty, Bullhorn Betty. I'm not sure if you got the memo. I'm not sure if you got the memo. I'm sorry, my Christian folks, but you guys know part of being Christian is being honest. It's being honest. And I did look up whether cussing is really frowned upon in the Bible, because, you know, I do have, a fight every now and again. Ooh, what was that? Oh, no, not the badass button.
Do what you love.
I'm trying, lady. I'm trying. You just don't know. But I did go and I looked up, I want to know, I always believe in honesty being the best policy. And I'm conflicted because of swear word. I have a potty mouth. Everybody knows Bullhorn Betty has a flippin' potty mouth, okay? I try. Guys, I can promise you today, from 5 years ago, you can ask Sonya, a lot of prayers went into that, okay? And so did a lot of buckets of money. And so we are much, much better. It's a big, huge improvement from where we once were. But I just thought I'd check it out just to be on the safe side, because I love Jesus. Sometimes I'm one of them Christians, I love Jesus, and then he gives me hard times, and I'm like, Jesus, why? Why am I walking this walk again? I thought I had already done a walk. The walks never end. So, my question was, before we get started, this is breaking news, by the way, okay? This is breaking news, story time, Betty. We got some time this morning before I started early, so we weren't rushed today, okay? My luncheon is not, I got to leave here about 11:15. We got time. We got time to kill. I'm not rushing you today, so we'll get into all the breaking news stories. So I asked, does the Bible address profanity? It seems like profanity came after the Bible. And if profanity came after the Bible, how do we know God frowned upon profanity? It's a reasonable question. Quit laughing at me. Good gracious, at least keep some of those laughs down a little bit. I can hear you through the screen. So the Bible does address corrupt, abusive, vulgar, and reckless speech. For example, Ephesians 4:29, let no corrupted communication proceed out of your mouth, but which is good to the use of edifying. And I'm like, okay, well, I can stretch. I can make it stretch according to Ephesians. At least some of the words, okay? You guys know I'm a strategist, right? So I'm thinking, okay, I got Ephesians down. Okay, I think I can work around Ephesians. I'll use certain language, not other language, because it's only good to edify. We can edify, okay? Just letting you know. But it's the Colossians. It's the Colossians 3:8 that I'm kind of stumbling upon. That's the one I gotta work on a little more strategy on Colossians, because I don't think I'm gonna get around this one. Okay, I can work around Ephesians, but I don't know if I can work around Colossians. Okay, put off anger, wrath, malice, blasphemy, filthy communication. Filthy communication out of your mouth. Now, that's subjective. Filthy communication covers a lot, doesn't it? It even covers non-cuss words. So now I'm kind of really up that creek without the paddle. I don't know how I'm getting around that. And then we go to James 3, compares the tongue to fire capable of great destruction. And I started reading this, and I'm like, okay, so we're past cuss words too. We got to be careful with our tongue. People will give account every idle word, and that's Matthew 12:36. So I don't know who needed to hear that or not. I'm trying. I'm not a perfect Christian. When any perfect Christian in here, by all means, stand up. Raise your hand. Raise your hand really, really high. We want to touch you. We want to rub elbows with you. We've never been we've never seen a perfect Christian in our lifetime. So if you are a perfect Christian, I'd love to shake your hand. I'd love to shake your hand. So you guys see I went through a lot of research for this sweatshirt. Maybe I overdid it a little bit, but I wanted to wear it now. I think, I really do think honesty is the best policy. We have to be honest. So she's shaking her head. She ain't even coming in here. She's like, I'm blowing this popsicle stand. So it just says, I'm an a-hole. You love me or hate me. Either way, guess what? You'll remember me. How many people believe I am a memorable person, whether you love me or hate me? I'm just asking. Oh, sweet Melanie. Thank you so much. Good morning. Sending love to BHB and everyone. I needed that for the cuss jar. Thank you so much. Not me, the Lord knows. Not me, the Lord knows. Two Speed says. Okay. Now that we're over our educational lesson, our education lesson in curse words. Hey, Unicorn, it's nice to see you. I'm gonna say hi to you, and then we're gonna go ahead and get started. I just thought I needed to break it down for you. That's all. Eeyore, it's nice to see you. Unicorn, Denise, hello. Rachel, Mama, it's nice to see you. Hello, loves. Hello. Good morning. The real me too. Rachel, Mr. Dunham, it's nice to see you. Oh my gosh, expose these SOBs. Good morning. Peggy, it's nice to see you. Arizona Raven, good morning. Connie, hey. It's nice to see you. Terry, good morning, love. Come on in. YouTuber up in the chat. It's nice to see you. Melanie, good morning. Who else do we have? Dirty Boy. Well, hello. Matt Schwartz. Carol, it's nice to see you. Rachel, I think I said hi to you. Judy, good morning. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Jewel, up in the chat. Let them 66 feel like crap this morning. Darn out. I know my allergies. My allergies have been kicking. I am in Florida. Like, we have all kinds of pollen here. And then the rain comes in, and they're not just rains. They're like mini hurricanes. Like, they're just whipping winds. Like yesterday, holy smokes. The day before, holy smokes. Like, I replanted my little plant. It's a disgusting story how I got this plant. We're not going to go through it again. However, I was transplanting this plant into a 10-gallon, planter. And so I stuck an umbrella up, because I didn't want the sun. It needs 8 hours of direct sunlight. So it's one of those plants. But when you transplant them and you add water to them, that water can damage, especially if that water is sitting like on a leaf, like a bubble of water, and that heat, it can damage your plant. So I put a little umbrella up, for the transplant. I was going to remove the umbrella the next day. And of course the umbrella ended up, I had to go chase the umbrella down the road, right? Not necessarily down the road, but you guys get it. It wasn't in the place I put it. And one of the storms came through. Yesterday, another storm came through. So we're gearing up toward hurricane season. We're having a very, very much a tropical, we have rain all this week here in Florida. So if you're in Florida, make sure you guys, how our thunderstorms are. Our thunderstorms are basically mini hurricanes that just don't rise to the level. We still have the winds, we still have the mini tornadoes, we have the water spouts, everything that comes with Florida weather. We're going to have, it's coming into the summer. Okay, we're in the spring right now. We're rolling through the spring. We're almost through the spring. We're going into the summer. We have rain, the heat, the humidity, rain. Bahamas is part of that, and we're going to be getting into the Bahamas here shortly. But before we do, I wanted to make sure, oh crap, I forgot to set this up. I try to do everything. I try to be perfect. I try to make sure I get all of this stuff done before I pull you guys up here And I just fall short every day. And we just need our wake up with Joe, right? We just need our laughing. We just need our what's really going on out in Sumner County. So I like to start off my show with what we really think is going on in Sumner County and why Sebastian Rogers' case has not been solved. But before we go through there, we have a lot of updated news information. I'm realizing we get stuck on these news cycles where we're just consumed by these cases. And we've got a lot of crazy news out there that we miss. So I try to grab a few of those and bring them into the show. This is a case we've covered intimately. We know the people. We know all the players in this case. I've taken pictures with Dick Harpootlian, James Griffin, even what was the guy's name that represented all those victims in his financial crimes? He's on social media. I can't remember his name. I don't know why. He's a good looking older guy. Anyways, long story short, we were here, we've been following the case of Alec Murdaugh. We went through all the twists and turns in Alec Murdaugh. This was a wild case. The story itself is wild. If you guys have never heard about this case, he's an attorney. He was a well-to-do attorney. His family comes from a long history, a long generational attorney type thing. His family was the solicitor. That's the state attorney. That's like the district attorney of that community. They are the big cheese, right? 100 years. How much stuff did the Murdaughs really get away with? How many more things? I mean, if their son and the grandfather were all in this, especially when it came to Paul Murdaugh, there had to have been things that they did when they were kids that their father got them out of. It seemed too easy that the Murdaughs always seemed to show up to the scene and kind of start directing things when it came to this area. But over time, after 100 years of service and people starting to realize this family is being corrupted, probably because of Alex, there's probably a lot of rumors going on, people at the beauty shops and stuff. This is Old South, okay? Trust me, things people know, right? The affairs that nobody talks about publicly, everybody at the hairdressers know about, right? So there was an underbelly. At some point, they voted the family out. Okay, when the new solicitor came in, that's when it was go time. What had happened with Paul is he wrecked a boat. People begged him not to drive. Somebody else wanted to drive. He was insistent. Mallory Beach lost her life as a result of it. There were some other major injuries to the people on the boat, not just Mallory. Mallory was just the worst. And so they were fighting all of that. He had just went through that 2015 death of his housekeeper. So most of his insurance that he had on his property had been eaten up with her because he ended up, stealing that money from his housekeeper's family. So when Mallory Beach died, there wasn't a whole lot of money left over. There was $500,000 that the family could take, and it wasn't enough. We had some major injuries on the boat and disfigurations of live victims, and then we also had the death of Mallory Beach. Clearly $500,000 was not going to be enough, and so Mallory Beach's family sued the Murdaughs, and they were being very successful because Alec and his mom or his wife and his Paul's brother all knew they were drinking, all knew that he was frequently drinking and driving that boat, and did nothing to prevent it. So it put the family on the hook, and now Alec Murdaugh is having to litigate this death case, right? The wrongful death action, civil action against him. And they were going to be getting the financials. Well, he had been stealing a lot of money and embezzling and laundering a lot of millions of dollars for decades. And so that was all about to come out. Decades of his wrongdoing was about to be front page news. And so he was desperate. He needed sympathy. And so he thought, okay, I'm going to use Mallory Beach's case and say that this was retaliatory for Mallory Beach. And that was going to be his explanation of what happened to Paul and Maggie. In his sick, twisted mind, that was what his explanation was, so he could prevent them from moving forward in that case. And for a moment, it worked. But because of Paul, because of his phone, Alec's house of cards crumbled. He was dead to rights guilty. And because of Becky Hill, he gets a new trial. So now millions of dollars wasted of taxpayer fund because of the clerk of the court of Colton County, Becky Hill. And so now we're going for round 2, and it's sad because Paul and Maggie deserved better. They deserved better than this. They deserved better from their husband and father. They deserved better from the courts. They just deserved better. So now is round 2. Many people feel that he might be acquitted. I am not on that bandwagon. I went through the first trial, and I believe they had him dead to rights without the financial crimes. So removing the financial crimes is not going to be a whole lot to do with me. I still think they're going to get him. He's going to be found guilty. All right. So that's just the background of Alec Murdaugh. I hope you guys decide to stick with me during that, because we will be covering that. I do ground cover that. So what does that mean? That means I go out to South Carolina. I'm going to be covering this story like I have in the past, boots on the ground. So we'll be out in South Carolina. We'll be out at this court. I'm hearing that they may not have TV. I hope they do. This is, I hope that they put this is something that, one, he deserves. If he's not guilty, he deserves the first one convicting him to be online and everything, and then the second one that he could potentially be acquitted for is not aired. I think that's insulting. I think that's more insulting to him than not. I think it needs to be aired. If the first one was aired, I think the second one needs to be aired. Just my personal opinion about the situation. Not because I'm here. I'm going to be there. So if it's not aired, I'm going to be sitting in there reporting to you guys, probably through X. So if you guys are not on my X, some of you guys aren't on my X, because that's kind of where my political arm is, and I do a lot of political advocacy on X. So some people are kind of, standoffish on X, and I'm fine with that. But if you guys would, when we do go out there, if you guys would like to sub up to my X, that's if they do not permit this to be videotaped, and I can't push this out on the monitor screen, then I will be pushing it out on X with updates while I'm inside the courtroom. So we'll get all that figured out. Now, police in Virginia Beach are asking for the public's help for identification. This is this day and age, it's hard for me to believe with our investigative genetic genealogy that these things are not identified fairly quickly. But I digress. Here you can see on the screen, there's some jewelry. Again, this is Virginia Beach. So if you, my head's in the way. This is Virginia Beach. So if you are not in Virginia Beach, I don't know if this will pertain to you unless you recognize the jewelry. Okay. This is the jewelry. You see the ring, you see the cross. I'm not sure, I can't, the ring is so bulky, but it has flowers on it, which almost imply woman, but it's so bulky that it almost implies man. So I don't know, because I don't know of women that have chunky, we do have flashy stuff. Even, I got to remember, I was from the biker scene. When I start seeing skulls like this, I'm thinking of bikers. I'm thinking of that type of lifestyle, that type of person, around those type of people. And the reason why is because not every Tom, Dick, and Harry can hang out with bikers. Okay, bikers are they're kind of like me, right? They're an acquired taste, right? You got to have a love for bikers. You got to have a love for their raunchy jokes and stuff. Some of the stuff that would offend normal people is just part of their speech, talking. So, this kind of jewelry is really, for me, really leaning into that lifestyle, or, with the cross, and that it could be, of Hispanic descent too, because some of this stuff can go back to Mexico, Mayan mines and stuff like that, which is, I think, where maybe the skull, the sugar skull kind of came from anyways. Just my opinion, but anyways, they are seeking help in identifying an individual. Again, if you recognize this jewelry, we can at least assume, and there's some more jewelry. See, I don't know. That could be a woman's ring. It really could be, in all fairness. So I don't know what we're dealing with here. Let's see. Maybe they have this in here. I did read this yesterday, but if I recall, I don't think they talked about the man or woman, and they don't. So Virginia Beach police are attempting to identify skeletal remains found near Premium Outlets Boulevard. Authorities say the remains were discovered near 1600 block of Premium Outlets Boulevard on April 10th after residents reported seeing possible human bones in a wooded area approximately 5:15. Police released images of the jewelry that was found to help establish the person's identity. As you guys can see, here are some of the rings. Here is the necklace. I don't know whether this goes to a man or a woman. I think the ring, to me, it looks like a male's ring. Now that I see the necklace, it could be a male's necklace. Women are a little more dainty. They like smaller stuff, but you never know, right? This is a different world we live in. Police do not currently suspect foul play, but are urged with anybody to help identify the individual. When you hear wooded area, you hear them, and you don't know how they are. They could have been people that are in wooded areas are typically homeless. It could be a drug overdose. It could be a medical event. It could be a snake bite for all we know. Somebody that's out there in the woods could get bit by a rattlesnake and not get help in time and lose their life as a result of it. And then, of course, we have a downed plane off the coast of Florida. I don't know if you guys read the reports, but we got sharks that are testing positive for Coca-Cola. And I think it's for all the Coca-Cola we're blowing to smithereens out there in the international waters. But we have a lot of high fish, okay? I don't even know if they're going to be able to call shark. Are we able to even eat the fish? This is a buyer beware warning. I'm not sure about our fishing. You know, should we be eating the fish that is being at the grocery store? Should we not? Are we? Have you guys tested our fish? Are we going to be going and getting like addicted to Coca-Cola because we have a love for seafood? Is that where we're going in this world? I don't know.
Come back safe, Bobby. Don't leave me with these friggin' kids.
I don't know. But a downed plane went down. It looks like 11 people were rescued off. You know, then of course they uncovered that the plane is filled with Coca-Cola and it's coming from the Bahamas. So this kind of dives right into, you know, our Bahamas case, which is Lynette Hooker. But before we get there, as many of you know, there has been people out there in front of Nancy Guthrie's house keeping attention on the case. The case is losing attention. And of course, with them being out there, now you have all these different articles about some of the stuff going on while these guys are out there advocating. I'm going to say this, and I've been getting a lot of heat from it. I get a lot of heat no matter what. I've had nothing but heat for the last 5 years. It's just, I don't bode with what people want me to. I don't go with the flow of things, okay? At the end of the day, I'm an individual person. I think for myself, I act for myself, and I protect the things that are important to me. And one of those things is protecting our freedoms, okay? The First Amendment is where I do my activism. It's where I'm able to get my bullhorn, my picket signs, you know, protest. It's where I'm able to stand in front and commentate on cases. It's where I'm able to do investigative journalism. The First Amendment of the Constitution, of the United States Constitution, protects every aspect of my business. And whether or not I like people, I like what they're doing, right? I ask myself several questions. Is it lawful and legal? That's the first question I ask. Is it lawful and legal? Can somebody put a ski mask on? Of course they can. Is it distasteful? Maybe, depending on what the purpose of it is, okay? But is it illegal? No, okay? I'm not an emotional person when it comes to the law. Why? Because I was taught. I went to school for the law. I'm taught to remove my emotions, okay? I'm trained to remove my emotions from arguments, okay? That's what I'm trained to do. I went to school, spent a lot of money to get trained how to compartmentalize emotions and law, okay? The law is not emotional. We, the people, are. So, again, I'm not protecting the actions or saying anything positive for the actions of the people there. I support whatever is lawful and legal in activism, okay? Whether people like it or not, whether it's annoying, whether it's narcissistic, what's the other words that are used? I can't even remember all the words that are used on people that go out there like news crews and sit there, okay? News crews are all gone, and they think that social media is not legitimate journalism. At least some idiots do, okay? The law is very clear on it. At the end of the day, I protect the umbrella, okay? Not necessarily the people under it. I protect the umbrella. That's what people need to understand. No matter what, it's going to come down. Everybody's like, oh, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. No, I'm not. Because this is my business. Okay, people that sit home behind these computers have no clue what it's like to have to go out there and compete with CNN, Fox News, News Nation. Okay? People like me do. It's not easy. It's not easy. It takes a lot of work. And yes, you have to step on toes to climb up. And that's just part of the job. But at the end of the day, is what they're doing out there illegal? And it's not. They're on public property. They're doing whatever the hell they want to do as American citizens, and that's their right on public property within rules and within reason. At the end of the day, they have a protection under the First Amendment. Whether they're out there to activate, for activism, and maybe this is their protest, either way, it's protected under the First Amendment. If they're out there to investigate for journalistic purposes, newsworthy purposes, again, still protected under the First Amendment. So I want to make sure that I'm very, very clear that I protect the umbrella, not necessarily the people under the umbrella, just the umbrella. And if that protects people all across the board, then it protects people all across the board. I don't care. At the end of the day, these are things that affect my personal business. So with a case that's losing attention, a lot of attention on the daily, okay? This case was happening. Once upon a time, it was happening. Now it is not. So this comes down to who is really creating the drama out there. It's the hate channels, as always, right? So people that are calling in and reporting things that aren't happening, people that are truly violating the law, not the people sitting out there. For example, we found out the reason why Pima County Sheriff went out there is because people sat there and said they were trying to start a fire. Trying to start a fire. Now, I'm all about if somebody's doing something wrong, reporting them. But I'm not about people lying, falsely reporting, again, a crime. I'm tired of people doing criminal conduct to try to sit there and say people that are doing lawful conduct are criminals. That's what I'm tired of. I'm tired of the illusion, and I'm tired of the facade. What those people are doing when they call the sheriff's office is a crime. Not the people sitting out there. The people filing and reporting false information. And I hope that they're tracked down, and I hope they're prosecuted. I really do. If you know of anybody and you are a whistleblower, your friend called and did this, I would like to know. I will pay somebody $500 if their information leads to the arrest of somebody making a false report. I will pay somebody $500, a $500 reward, if their information leads to an arrest for somebody breaking the law and calling these things in. I will personally pay them $500. No questions asked. If we can get an arrest for somebody making a false report, and that's standing. That's standing across these cases. From this point forward, if somebody is falsely reporting and they're your friend and you know they did it, reach out to me, and I will promise you, if they get arrested, you will get your $500. It doesn't sound like much, but I guarantee there's a lot of people in need of $500. Just saying. So if you're hanging out with dirtbags, make it worth your while. Make it worth your while. All right, guys. So I want to talk about Nancy Guthrie case a little bit. I don't want to miss this. We do have a lot of breaking news in Lynette, but we have an opportunity to put this beautiful, precious lady's face back up on the screen and talk about her and advocate for her. So I want to tell her story a little bit. So this is Nancy Guthrie. She was 84 years old when she was ripped out of her bed in the middle of the night. She had just turned 84, by the way. And she's got grandkids. She's got a wonderful family. She's got 3 beautiful children of her own that have done great things for themselves. And she was living her golden years with a lot of love and a lot of activity. She had book clubs. She had mahjong clubs to go to. She had a little church group she sat with and went to church every Sunday. She was just a very active 84-year-old woman. She had mobility issues, but she was sharp as a tack and very active. So she's lived in her home for decades. Can you imagine the kind of security and safety and all of that good stuff that you have when you've lived in a home for decades? Like, I've lived in this house for, oh, good gracious, when did I purchase this house? Oh, gracious, I've been in this house for almost 14 years. Hard to believe time has gone by so fast. Actually 13, because the whole first year, this was such a, I mean, the house, the best now, but it was really bad. It took us a year to fix this house up just to make it livable. So I've lived in this house for about 13 years. Hard to believe. But even in that 13 years, this little place, even though I can't stand the layout, I do not thrive in this house. I need to move on to a something that makes me thrive, makes me proud. You know, this house made me proud until the hurricanes came and, you know, damaged the majority of my property, at the exterior of my property, which I was very proud of. My exterior, I had a nice fenced-in backyard, you know, and you know, a lot of storage because I had all the sheds back there that were blown away in the hurricanes. So I've just been kind of displaced with all my stuff since the hurricanes a couple years ago, 3 years ago almost now. And so I haven't, you know, the ability of me to be able to do the stuff that took us 10 years to complete. I can't do it now. At the time that we did this, I had a husband. You know, we had a handyman business. We had employees. We could get stuff done. Now it's just me, okay? And I got to tell you, it wears. It's hard, right? But I'm still secure in this home. I feel completely, utterly safe, right? So I can't imagine with her not having the problems I have and living in her house 3 times longer than I've lived in my house, or 4 times longer for that fact that I've lived in my house, the security and feel that she had of safety. And then that was all robbed of her. Probably the only time she's ever felt unsafe in her home was the time that she most likely lost her life, you know, and that's super sad. Let me go ahead and pause here. I see that we have some super stickers and stuff coming in, so I apologize. I didn't say good morning to all of you guys yet. Unicorn, it's nice to see you. Eeyore, good morning. Denise, hello. Rachel, it's nice to see you. Mama, good morning, love. I hope you're doing well. I hope you are doing well. Who else do we have? We have the real Me Too up in the chat this beautiful morning. Peggy, Arizona Raven. I think I said hi to you guys. Connie, it's nice to see you. We must have went through this. I remember saying hi to you, but I must have stopped at some point because I know we got more people. Matt, good morning. Hopefully we can get some justice here for the family. Something seems a little fishy between the sheriff's office and the FBI. I agree 100% with you. And here's what I think the reason why they won't hand this over to the FBI. One, I think it's the same reason they won't hand this over, Sebastian Rogers over to the FBI as well, is because they don't want to be embarrassed of the shoddy work that they did. And as soon as that case is handed over, all of their mishaps, missteps, and just unprofessional and probably just quite frankly botched investigation is going to be more prevalent, and the people above them are going to know how shitty of a job they did. That's truly what I can't think of any other benefit a sheriff's department would have with holding a case that everybody wants to go to the feds. Like, I keep bouncing around with that because listen, I've got friends that are in the sheriff's office, and I know about the pissing contest. I'm aware of that. You know, I get it. If they can get it done, they want to get it done. But at some point, they have to put the case above their feelings. And it's like, we can't seem to do they get dinged or something? Like, there's got to be if there's nothing preventing them from moving this stuff up to the federal investigators, and they just refuse to. There's more to that story than just that. There has to be, in my opinion. There has to be, right? I mean, that's just, again, I don't know definitively. It seems like it would be that. I don't know. I'll let you decide, Matt, but that's just my personal opinion. I feel like once it's handed off, I feel like that's when the calls start coming from the FBI. Like, why did you do this? Well, why didn't you do this? And why didn't you do this? And I think that's the stuff they don't want to answer, right? The actual having to work with the FBI and explain why they did the stuff that they did. I think that might be more in line, but I don't know. I really don't know. Anyways, it's nice to have you. Great question, great statement. If you guys have more statements like that, let me know. I'm trying to get this. Make sure that you guys put red dots if you need me to see something, because when I go through here, everything's white on my on my end. So unless you're a member or one of my mods, I just see white, okay? So you get lost in the sea of white. So you sometimes have to put a little something there to let me know that you want me to read that. So just to give you a little best practices for those that are new on here. Sandra, it's nice to see you. Good morning, love. I didn't say hi to you. I did say hi to some of these people. Linda, good morning. Carol, good morning. I said hi to you, Mr. Dunham. Me and you, it's nice to see you. Rachel, Connie, I said hi to you guys. The Real Me Too, Melanie, I said hi to you guys. Who else did I not say? Two Speed, good morning, love. I hope you're doing well. Thank you, OG. OG Jitter, hitting me with the stars. It's nice to see you. Thank you, love bug. Good morning, good morning. Who else do we have? I guess I got left out of the memo. I don't know. It's so far. That was so far. It was back at 7:49. That was like, apparently I don't have the memo either. Don't worry about it, Two Speed. We got Dirty Boy Jacqueline. Good morning, love. I hope you're doing well. V. Oakley, it's nice to see you. I don't think I said hi to you. Who else? Is Sonia in here? I didn't see Sonia. Did I miss Sonia? I didn't see Sonia in here. Good morning, Sonia, if you're in here. She's probably like, oh, no, she started off with that. Melanie, thank you, says good morning. I think I remember seeing this and reading this, too. I got off track today, apparently, so just bear with me while I get my butt back on track, okay? There we go. Now we... East Georgia Bookfoot. Hello, Bigfoot. Ooh, Momo, it's nice to see you. Nighttime Moon, see all of you. I missed all of you. It's nice to have you guys. Come on in. It's nice to see you, Mike. It's nice to see you. Common Sense. Phil from across the pond. Lisa B. Always. Hey, there's the fam. Little Orange Man. Mustang Sally. We even got Mustang Sally. Thanks for hitting the like reminder. Ooh, thank you. Oma, it's nice to see you guys. Look at that. Nano should never have released this. Yeah, I agree with that, Connie. Never. Whispering Winds. I mean, there's a time and a place to release the scene, but you don't even know. We can't. We just there's a whole host of reasons why you should never release the scene like he did, as quickly as he did. A whole host. And I know we had somebody else. Why didn't I get that? Hold on a second. I think you disappeared on me. There you guys are. Okay. There it is. It must have did something. I don't know why I can't see you, OG Jitter. I just passed by. You are amazing. Appreciate all you do for us. BHB rocks. Thank you, Love Bug. And we have the best mods out here. Love each of... Oh, that's for the mods. I love that. Thank you. They appreciate that. Aw. We do have the best. They're very seasoned mods. We've lost a few great mods along the way because some of the stuff was really intense here, and everybody was just, sometimes in a bad mood. But we did lose a lot of great family members through the process of fighting these hate channels. And, it's unfortunate because once those relationships are severed and the feelings are hurt, they're just, there's no way to recover from that. It's just, kind of move on. So it's sad, but, we do have the ones that stick around are battle tested, like when new content creators are coming out and they're getting pelted with, the hate channels. I offer my battle ready, mods. to help, because nobody's quicker than them. They're quick. They never liked, because I'd get up. There was some mornings I was so stressed out. People would come in here and say something. Now it's like it just rolls off my back like a duck. Legal Swag, it's nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. But there for a while, it was rough, but we're very thankful for our mods. We're very thankful for our mods, all of them, even the ones that that can't be in here, that are kind of in the bushes. So, no doubt, best mods on YouTube. Aw, hey Frank, it's nice to see you. Social friend, hello. So, poor little Nancy, we found out, out of everything going on, 4 decades of safety, security in her home, and then one fateful night, right? And it was fate, it's a disturbing fate, but it's fate, right? And unfortunately, something happened. Even though she had decades of safety and security, it only took one night to rock that and change that for forever. And that happened on February 1st. And nobody knows what happened to Miss Nancy Guthrie. And what we all kind of witnessed here, like with Nanos, we were trying to be really nice to him. I'll be honest with you. I found you during the Nancy Guthrie case. I wish I had found you earlier. We like-minded. I'm in Florida, not too far away. Oh, that's great. Nancy Guthrie, in her case, it shakes us to our core for a variety of reasons. One, 40 years, security, but it's not just that. For the community, I think it is this spiraling effect, that all of them seen coming and have been trying to stop it, and they just keep falling short. So one thing I've heard from a lot of people in this area is the crime. The crime has gone through the roof. They know it's gone through the roof in Pima County. They're hiring all these deputies and everything. But the problem is when you have a bad leader like Chris Nanos that has bad morale in the department, it really weighs on those people. They're not being directed or trained properly, and they're missing a lot of stuff. And law enforcement is tough stuff, right? It's dangerous stuff. We know that. But these people, these older people, these people in the Catalina foothills, they're experiencing stuff that they've never had to experience before. And they keep trying to vote for the right people, and they keep trying to find safety. But at the end of the day, they're being led astray. And I think that this was a huge wake-up call for the community. And this scared them. Not only is Savannah well known in this country and worldwide, Pima County, where her mom lived there for decades and never had any problems. And so it made us immediately start thinking that maybe the problems she was having was related to her daughter, not related to the crime out there that has been growing. And I'm starting to feel like maybe because, we've looked at Savannah in that aspect so long, it's never panned out. Nothing has ever panned out down that road. So it makes you kind of step back and say, okay, if it's not Savannah or her notoriety or really about money, what could it be about, right? And then you start looking into the Pima County and you start realizing everybody has been complaining about the crime. The crime has been just going through the roof, and law enforcement out there has been sticking their head in the sand, basically. They've been managing it. That's what they've been doing. They've been defensive. They haven't been offensive. They haven't been preventative. They come out when the calls come, but they don't do anything to stop the calls from coming. You see what I'm saying? Hey, Michelle, it's nice to see you. I thought the perp reminded me of Tommaso, looked very familiar, and his bandmate as well. Yeah, but you know what the problem was with that Georgia Bigfoot is that those photos that we were comparing those people to, those were from 20 years ago. That his bandmate's much older, not the same guy that we saw in that photo. Tommaso himself, we saw a jet black mustache and beard. Days later, you could see Tommaso is peppered, even this is like white. So I feel like we would have seen that. And I feel like if he died that, we would have noticed that too, because he was we got pictures of him days later. That dye wouldn't have had time, especially jet black, had time to come out of the hair, even if it was a dye. And that's right, it's happening too often too. Yeah. And so that's where that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. I kind of look at things and I try to find realistically. Sometimes I say, because I'm political too, and I'm a political activist, so sometimes I put my foot in my mouth and it turns people off, how I say things, and I don't mean to do that, but I do it more times than I'd like to admit. But I try to be fair out here, and I'm looking at this area, and while I don't agree with some of the policies they have in place, the bottom line is this is what the people voted, and you guys know I'm about people than I am about party. And so I've got to trust the people that this is their way of life. Just like Florida, we have a culture, we have a way of life here in Florida, right? And we really get upset when people like developers start squishing on that heritage and lifestyle, right? So I have to think that the same be had in Arizona. I'm not an Arizona person. Whose birthday is it? I'm 41 today. I can't believe it. Y'all don't look a day over 21. You don't look a day over 21. All right. Michelle is our family. She has a real legitimate birthday today, so we're gonna have to celebrate because we're family. I wish we had virtual cakes we could send to audience. Like, you guys can send me a virtual cake, but I can't send you a virtual cake. So this is about the best that you're going to get from old Bullhorn Betty, right? This is about the best you're going to get. Yes, I keep the hat and the glasses right next to me because it seems like we have I might change the birthdays and just do once a month, like, for February birthdays or whatever. But Michelle is our family. She came out. She supports the Sebastian Rogers. She's been out there with us. She's been supporting this channel for quite some time. She is a valued family member. She's a valued family member of the Coffee Club. So Coffee Club, please help me out as we sing Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Michelle. Happy birthday to you. Michelle 420. I'll let you do your 420, okay? It ain't my cup of tea. Oh, I'm not singing happy birthday to you. Michelle, Delilah wanted to be in here for your birthday, too. Just thought I'd let you know. She just climbed up my leg. Now she's in her bed. Sitting. She's not even laying. Makeup good. Looks good. I think it's good. Gotta look like I'm alive, I don't mind looking dead for you guys whenever I don't have things to do, but when I gotta go out there into civilization and actually adult, I gotta adult. Anyways, happy birthday, Michelle. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Okay, I'm gonna stop. The birthday song. Well, I'm working on another one. I'm just not there yet. We just have to go to the... Okay, stop. It is nice to see you. Happy birthday. We've done as much as we can do for Nancy Guthrie at this point in time. I have no ability to get out there and search. I have no places to search, right? Because I don't know. I mean, if we had a car to hunt down, they're not even releasing a car, even though I believe I see an SUV behind the assailant. They refuse to acknowledge that. They refuse to acknowledge anything. We don't know anything about, everything's being under seal. So even if they are doing detainers or executing search warrants, we're not privy to that. We're not privy to that. We were privy when we had a lot more boots on the ground and people were watching the Pima County Sheriff's Office and their movements of big vehicles. That was what was tipping us off, but we don't have the type of bodies out there that we once did that give us, indication that, oh, the sheriff's about to start moving. We got the SWAT team in gear, right? We had good intel. We don't have that anymore. So what's going on in the case, we really don't know. We're hearing from Chris Nanos, Sheriff Chris Nanos, that they're getting close to solving this case. Unfortunately, with our personal communication with their office, which they've stopped all communication with all social media. They don't even give us updates anymore. They don't send out press releases. They don't send out any information. They're just a failure. Pima County Sheriff's Department is a failure. I hope whoever is going to be challenging Chris Nanos or getting him recalled or whatever, I hope you guys do better than this. The community deserves better than this. I think that we can all agree on that. This is not like a stab or anything. The only way we can correct a ship is to acknowledge what is wrong with it, right? Trying to cover it up and hide and put lipstick on a pig is not going to solve the problems. It might buy us some time, but it's far from solving the problem. So we need to address the problem. I'm one of those people that just like to throw everything out on the table, get it all out. Let's figure out where we're at. Let's put it all back together and figure out how to get things moving in the right direction. That's just kind of how I've learned to do things over the years, right? How do you guys are going to correct this ship? I don't know. We just don't trust Chris Nanos. I don't know if he's ever going to get that trust back. So he's saying that they're getting close to solving this case, yet we're hearing no more information. It's hard for me to believe. Yeah, I think he's a compulsive liar. I think he tells anybody what they want to hear. Whatever makes him look good. How many of you guys believe that? I mean, we got 300 people in here. I don't want to do a poll, like a traditional poll, but maybe just ones and twos. How many of you guys believe that Chris Nanos just tells us what we want to hear? Like 1, yes, you believe that. 2, yeah, maybe. 3, undecided, right? Yes, no, maybe. 1, 2, 3. So never trust. That's my thing. I have a problem with. I think we've all lied in our life before. I don't want to discredit that. I think we've all lied. I know I personally have lied, a lot of my life. I mean, especially in my 20s, I've lied about every damn thing, right? Anything I could lie about, I lied about. But I think over time, you learn what you like to do and what you don't like to do. Like, I'm so I'm just, what's the point in lying? I'm 46 years old. Who the hell do I need to lie to? Nobody tells me what to do, right? I don't have to lie to anybody. I don't have to lie to my mom, my dad, my sisters. I don't have to lie to anybody. Because I'm going to do whatever the hell I want to do. Nobody's going to tell me no. If I cross over the line, then I cross over the line. We'll deal with the consequences, right? That's something I chose to do. I didn't do it blindly. But I think that people do change and can change if they have lied in the past, because I think we've all lied, right? And there's just a time and a place when we say, why the hell would I lie? I don't really care, right? If they get mad at me, so what? I don't care, right? This is what I did. If you disagree with it, I'm sorry you disagree with it, but it's what I did. Why am I going to say, it wasn't me. I didn't do that. Oh, I can't believe I didn't say that. Well, this is you, right? Yeah, that is you moving your lips. Yeah, that is your voice. Yeah. Oh, I guess I said it, but I didn't mean to. No, I said it. Of course I said it. Yeah. Okay, so what? Right? So I don't really care about lying, but when I was in my 20s, I was kind of wanted to not have to be held accountable for anything I did. Now, I whether I do things good or bad or whatever, I'm the only person I answer to is me, so I'm held accountable for every decision I make, right? I don't really care at this point in my life. Maybe in my 20s I did. So I do believe over time, even if you have lied, you grow out of it, but some people don't, and I think that that's where we're at with Chris Nanos, right? I think that for 40 years, he's been able to get away with almost murder, right? And it's because he's been able to lie and deceive. Aw, thank you. Aw, she says she loves you guys. I know there was some people out there. Hold on, it's moving up too quick. Let me get my little heart there. There we go. I wanted to heart it. Aw, that was super sweet. Yeah, and I know there were people in the chat that was singing along. I know it, because I sing along. When I'm replaying, I'm singing along. So I know if I'm singing along, there's people in the back that's singing along. Oh, it's great. It's great. I'm glad we were here for your day. I really am. So, anyways, let's get on to the bulk of our story, folks. The bulk of our story is the Lynette Hooker case, right? The bulk of our story is Lynette Hooker, guys. If you don't know about Lynette Hooker or her case, it's sad. Because she's got a daughter, she's an adult daughter, but she's still a young adult. You know, she hasn't experienced life yet. She hasn't gotten married. She hasn't had her first child. You know, all the things that you need your mom for, you know, and those are just the milestone things you need your mom for, right? There's a lot of other things that you go through as an adult, going from a child to a teenager to an adolescent to a teenager to adulthood, and the different stages of adulthood you go through. You have a lot of time with your mom, you know, especially if you're a girl. If you're a guy, you kind of really bond with your father, you know. So these are all the things that were taken from her daughter and her mom. So her mom, Darlene, and her daughter, Carly, have described this tumultuous relationship for 25 years that Lynette and Brian have had. We didn't learn about it until Lynette was missing. And then, of course, we go through the history of the case to find out how did we get here. And we learned that Lynette was 55 years old from Michigan, and her and her husband have been married for 25 years, that Brian helped raise her young daughter. He's been in Carly's life since she was 3 years old. So you're talking about a significant father figure in her life. And they sold everything in 2023 to embark on the next stage of their life. Hey, Sandy, it's nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. And the next journey for them, the bucket list item that they had, was living on the water, you know, being able to get up, pull anchor, and go travel the world on a yacht. And so they picked out a sailboat that had all the bells and whistles. They invested their money in it. They fixed it up to their liking, and then they embarked on their journey. According to family and friends, it wasn't as picturesque or, you know, the image that they had painted for themselves. You know, this is going to be an amazing time out there on the water, really connecting with one another and living this fabulous lifestyle where you just open the windows and you're surrounded by water. A lot of people pay millions and millions of dollars for that, right? And they are just living it on this yacht. So it sounds great. And then comes the too closeness, right? They go out and drink, they get into their first argument, they get into their first physical altercation, and then it starts, right? Now the pattern has been set. Now we're starting to see this happening more frequently, to the point that it hurt Lynette really bad. And she was taking pictures of all these bruises throughout the years, because she keeps wanting to look at them to remind her why not to go back, which she keeps going back. She kept going back. There was one event that her mom had described to Ashley Banfield, and I say it quite often on here because I think it's important, especially with the new information, and that is that they got into an altercation after drinking all day. Again, we found out from Brian himself they were drinking all day this day that she disappeared. So the first secret ingredient to this violent lifestyle is them drinking all day. And so in this particular situation, they were drinking all day. But back then, he put his hands around her neck and he squeezed. And he squeezed so hard something popped. And it scared Lynette. And so she went back to her mom's house in Florida and stayed there for a while. Her mom even described her neck being stiff for a really good long while as well. Lynette told her mom something that Brian had said when they were on the docks when she was leaving him after that event. And he said something to the effect of, "I wish I would have finished the job and threw you overboard." So after hearing something like that and then finding out that she's missing, it really gave her daughter and her mom an uneasy feeling. And so when the investigators reached out to them, or maybe they even called the investigators themselves, they expressed to them about this violent and explosive temper that Brian had and has had exhibited through the 25 years that they've been married. This kind of changed things because Brian was talking about things that didn't appear they could have happened. For example, this lone wave that knocked her off the dinghy. I don't believe that there's any evidence that there was a 2 to 3 foot wave. I don't think that even the maps, the flow charts and everything prove or support that. I think it proves and supports something opposite. Then we have video evidence of that night around the time he says she fell off the boat. And it's smooth across that water. It's completely smooth. And then the other issue we have to address with his story is the depth of the water. This area of the Bahamas where they were in the Abaco Inn and heading out of the Abaco Inn and between there and Lubbers, all of that is very shallow. That's why they can't bring in their ship. They can only get their ship to Aunt Pat's Bay because that's the water where they can take their boat without beaching it. And I think that does express, the depth of the water, that it was very shallow in the area that she would have fallen off. And there was never any explanation of her seat. He said he threw a flotation device, the green one. Well, every photo that we see there's 2 of them on that dinghy. One is blue that Lynette sits on, and one is green that Brian sits on. However, they found the green it was a seat. I mean, it's a gardening. It's not even a flotation device. It's not even classified as a flotation device, even though he's referring to it as a flotation device. But what happened to her blue seat? Her blue seat was like the color of my little, jacket here, right? It was bright blue, and so was her headscarf, by the way. We still haven't heard about the headscarf or this green cover this teal green cover she was wearing that day. We don't know where any of that is, but we do know that her Apple Watch that we observed her wearing earlier that day wound up on the Soulmate. But listen to this, folks. There's some breaking information when it comes to Lynette's case. Do we have the crime on tape? Do we have the crime on tape? This is what we learned. Let's just walk through some of the evidence that we have, that we know about. Okay, some physical. Hey, Pebbles, it's nice to see you, love bug. I hope you're doing well. Oh, common sense. Thank you. We appreciate that. Thank you. I love those little flowers. Those are cute. So, what did we learn? We learned that it's possible. Now, I'm going to put this out because I think it's appropriate for us to express this. And this is a statement from Mike. He's part of the crew here that's been covering this case. So I want to make sure that we because it is true. In all fairness, we did see Lynette at the Abaco Inn. We never seen her leave the Abaco Inn. We saw Brian leave the Abaco Inn, but not Lynette. So there is the possibility that they never made it back to, or Lynette never made it back to the dinghy or the yacht. Okay? We don't physically see her anytime after she leaves the Abaco Inn. Period. We don't see her on any other footage. Now, does somebody have footage? They might. I haven't seen it. I don't think Ashley Banfield has seen it, and nobody has produced it. So if you're out there in the Bahamas and you would like to do me a bone, send me some footage if you have it from the Abaco Inn, if you were there, if you saw Lynette, if you captured her walking across the street to the dinghy either before or after Brian, send that to me. bullhornbetty@gmail.com. bullhornbetty@gmail.com. I don't think we're going to get it. I think Ashley, whatever she was going to get, she got, and I think she's already made the connections of the people that she's going to make connections with that are going to help her out with this case while we're covering it. I don't think that we can confirm that Lynette, one, made it back to the dinghy or 2 made it back to the boat conclusively. I believe we have evidence to support it, but can we conclusively, do we have the ding of her Apple Watch showing she made it to the boat? That would be conclusive in my opinion. Hey, Popcorn Juror, it's nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. Veronica, I hope you're doing well. I saw you in here, but I forgot I didn't say hi to you. So that's going to be kind of the crux of this, because I kind of believe now that we got that disclaimer that she may not have made it back to the boat because we never saw her get on the dinghy after the Abaco Inn. Now that we got that out, I do want to talk about some of the things that I do believe support her making it back to the boat. So we're not going, if you don't believe she made it back to the boat, that's fine. If you do, that's fine. I don't think it's going to change any of my talking points, to be honest with you. So, I think that there's information and evidence that supports they did make it back to the boat. I think the first was, because I was very confused about the Apple Watch, because it sounded, even when they were talking about the Apple Watch, I said, it sounds like it must have been on the bottom of the ocean and they found it. And somebody's like, no, they found it in the boat. I'm like, how did they find it in the boat? How did they find the Apple Watch in the boat? Because it wasn't computing, it wasn't computing. Hey, Tranquil Psychic, it's nice to see you. Horsey Love, hello, love. I hope you're doing well. So when I found out conclusively that the Apple Watch was in the boat, the soulmate, that's when it started computing. Like, because I was foggy. I'm like, how can it be at the soulmate? She never made it back. She never made it. Then it's like, what if she did? What if she did make it back to the soulmate? And then we started expanding on that. Ashley started expanding on that. We started getting some real evidentiary type of videography in. So we had a gentleman or a woman, a family that lives on Lubber. Lubber is the island. It's that New Hope Island, that little island by itself, kind of right across from the Abaco Inn. There's a house on there that has a camera that points kind of out to Aunt Pat's Bay. And so it's kind of interesting because you can see several things going on the soulmate. And now you can't see them clear, right? We can't see who's doing what. It's so far away, but what we can see is that there's activity. So the first activity is at 7:47, that the boat just lights up. It's like a big old light bulb out there. So somebody had thought that maybe it was a motion sensor. What if it wasn't? What if they got back and somebody just flipped on the lights while they brought the dinghy up? But at any rate, we don't know what happened. All we can see is that the boat got very bright. I actually thought, well, maybe that's the flare. And it wasn't. She didn't show the flare. But we did hear eyewitnesses that said the flare went down horizontally along the boat. And that happened at 8. The same group of people that saw that flare going down the side of Soulmate, which again makes me feel like that's another indicator that they made it back. So we have the watch and we have the flare gun. That, in my opinion, is what helps define that they made it back to the ship. But the same group of people that saw the flare at 8 reported hearing a heavy, very loud, noticeable splash, a clunking splash, something very heavy, very deep going into the water at 9:30, an hour and a half later from the flare gun. So again, we don't know what happened, but I feel like we have enough evidence to support that there was activity on the Soulmate. And there was activity in close conjunction when they allegedly left the Abaco Inn. And what would be that clunking sound at 9:30, if not Lynette? Even if he was trying to get rid of some evidence, would it make that clunk, that loud splash? I have a hard time believing that is my problem. Oh yeah, I saw that. Perfect. Oh, I forgot that. I didn't realize we could heart those. Let me heart that. There we go. I hearted it. But now we're finding out another critical key piece of evidence, folks. There was a camera on board. multiple cameras. Multiple cameras, folks. And blink. A blink camera. So, are we going to find out they have a blink subscription? Is this the reason why he turned off everything at 9:30? Guys, that camera points to the back end of the boat. It points to the back end of the boat, folks. Right there. See it? That's one. There is a camera on board. Look up here. What does it say? Blink. Blink. They have blink security system on the ship. This is huge. You know how huge this is? This is so huge. It's Nancy Guthrie porch guy. We found him big, right? Like we saw the porch guy. It's that big. Aw, thank you for the butterfly. It's that big. Blink only works with motion, and you don't need a sub. You can use a USB. I know I have one. I love mine. I have a sync module. I've got my camera. I could show you here. Got everything. I love mine. I love my blink camera. I don't have any subscriptions. And I've got the card, the sync card, and mine comes in perfect. I mean, perfect. I love my blink. I'll show y'all a little something. Hold on. Oops, let me go to the clips. Front door. Is that me walking out? Crystal clear. Crystal clear. It has some green, like the little speckly stuff that was green, but it's mine's crystal clear. I got the sync module. However, the bad thing is with the sync module is that if your sync module gets damaged, you can't, you can't see your stuff. So, but so far I've had my syncing stuff on my sync module. The reason why I like Blink is because I didn't need a subscription. One thing I cannot stand more than anything in the world is I don't know if you know, I'm conservative. I'm a cheap biatch. Okay, I don't like spending money. I hate it. It annoys me. I'm a very budget conscious lady. Okay. And that came from traveling around this country, on peanuts. I had barely 2 pennies to rub together, so budgeting was my best friend. Okay, that's what we got. Lips, it's nice to see you. Yes, it is crystal clear. It is crystal clear. But it's an alternative, because I don't think the Nest has the sync module. I don't think Ring Doorbell has the sync module. I think you're required to go with that for $30, not to have a monthly subscription of $30. I think a lot of people like that with Blink. So yeah, I mean, for some people it sucks. I get it, but for other people, I think it's perfect. So it just really, and I think that's why we have different options out there for us, That's why I went with the Link. Yeah, I like the sync box. I do, and not only that, Lips, it does save money. I mean, it saves a lot of money. Because I looked at the subscription and I calculated like you're spending like $120 plus a year, to have the subscription, and the sync box does just, I mean, it probably takes a little longer. I know trying to delete the videos and stuff are a little bit different than on the cloud and stuff, but I don't know. I like it for the stuff I need it for, right? So, but this is interesting because we do know it's motion detected. Just like you said. But how much motion was on that boat? How much motion was on that boat? He's out there. That camera right there is going to the back of the boat. I guarantee the splash didn't come from the front of the boat because he would have probably broken the rail. The only place that's open is the back of the boat. So where did he go? What was that splash? And is anything caught on camera? I feel like something's caught on camera. How many of you guys believe something is caught on camera? Something is always caught on camera. Think about it. If they came back to the boat before he could ever turn off any of the equipment, that camera is already recording. I detest being or feeling forced to have a subscription. Yeah, that's kind of my point. Exactly. That's why I went with Blink. I went with Blink specifically. Now, I will tell you this. I'm not a fan of their doorbell cameras. The lenses, they get cloudy very quickly. My last camera, I got maybe a year and a half out of it before it went cloudy. So that's a problem, but I got a new one and it's crystal clear. But I think I'd have to think that happens with some, most of them, that over the time the sun oxidizes the lens, but that's the only problem I've had. But as you guys can see, this looks pretty freaking crystal clear here. I mean, but the point is, holy smokes, they've got cameras. They got cameras on their boat. I keep wondering, because you know what, it comes back down to what in the world the U.S. Coast Guard is doing. Because the U.S. Coast Guard, where does that, let's find out. I want to ask the question. Let me ask the question. Let's go to ChatGPT. Who processes, oops, I can't even spell evidence. Come on, Andrew. Who processes the evidence for the U.S. Coast Guard? Oh, I spelled guard wrong. Okay, so when the U.S. Coast Guard is investigating a potential crime scene or suspicious death, the evidence is typically processed by the Coast Guard Investigative Services, commonly known as CGIS, which we know that they're the ones that took the boat. We know that they're the ones that collected the information. So where does it go, though? Physical evidence may be sent to federal forensic labs, DHS labs, FBI crime labs, state or local crime labs, or special maritime forensic units, depending on the case. I hope they send this to Quantico. That'd be interesting. I'd like to know one way or another. For example, DNA, fingerprints, blood, trace evidence are often processed through outside accredited forensic labs. Maritime specific evidence, oil contamination, vessel failures, navigation data, etc., can go through the specialized Coast Guard forensic facility, such as the Coast Guard Marine Safety Laboratory. So we hear the navigation data. So it sounds like their maritime Coast Guard forensic facility is going to be doing their vessel navigation data and other critical data. I heard that even the battery might have data on it. It's mind-blowing what is really watching us out there, that can be used against us if we break the law. It's very interesting. It's mind-blowing, but these things are used for other purposes that can be used in criminal investigations, which I find fascinating. Secure the vessel as evidence, process the scene, coordinate forensic testing, conduct interviews, work jointly with agencies like FBI, Homeland Security, local sheriff, medical examiners. All these things are going to be, but I find it interesting because I just wanted to learn about the labs. So it looks like I think these labs are going to be very interesting. The FBI crime lab, I'd like to see what Quantico or somebody else does. Hey, Joanne, it's nice to see you, love. Mike says the same lab. Please. I hope not. That poor lab needs a break. They're going to get some made, because to be honest with you, that lab in Florida is going to get like heat from Cristiano's, not from the clientele, but just from the public, I hope not. It's definitely an interesting case, Lips. It's definitely an interesting case. Good morning, Alaska. It's nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. I'm interested. I'm interested in the findings because now that we know that there's cameras, we know what the FBI was able to do with Nancy Guthrie. We know. And not only that, guys, but you got to remember some of these things, like Blink camera, you can set for recording times. We don't know what their settings were on this. They may have had it set up like that. They may set it as a, security when they are on land and stuff like that. I don't know. But I'd have to think they set it up like a security system for a home. When you leave your home, you set your security system, you lock your front door, and you go on your way. Life is life, whether you're on a boat or in a house, and this is a houseboat. So we got to consider that. It's much like a home. And you got to remember, when people are on the high seas and they live on the high seas, everything in there is all of their stuff. That's it. That's it. It's their stuff. But anyways, let's get back to this, and let's just listen.
She did like a screen grab and texted it to her family members saying, "We're okay." And it is a shot coming from boom.
So they have a camera going this way, going this way. But look here, they have another camera going this way. So they basically have a 360-degree view of this entire cockpit. Because here's a camera here, and clearly they're looking in another camera because their heads are turned away from the camera that we observe right here. So again, we've got cameras. We've got cameras, folks. McBriggs, it's nice to see you. Good morning from Bama. It's nice to see you. I heard you guys did well. You guys did well last night too. I'm happy. I'm happy with Kentucky. Florida, we'll find out in August, but Florida's easy. We're easy people. We're easy people. Linda, it's nice to see you. ABC, it's nice, or ACD, it's nice to see you. Sorry, I thought it was about Nancy. I'm with you now, haha. Well, it kind of is. It kind of is a little bit. We went over Nancy's stuff earlier because the guys are out there, and doing some things to bring awareness to Nancy's case. So we want to definitely support that. But what's interesting with this case is that we do have cameras on this boat. And I want to know what those cameras hold, because if we can get the kind of data that we got from Nancy that didn't even have a subscription, let's not forget that, folks. Like, it's nice to see you. Welcome from across the pond. We have, we were able to see what Google was able to find in the residual data. It's not their fault that they enter, all these app stuff, whether it's recorded or not, whether you have a subscription or not, it's running through the internet. So we have to, consider that. Everything that goes through the internet's got to have some type of residual data on it. It seems so foolish that we didn't think about that previously, but now each case we're learning new stuff, right? Especially when it comes to technology, because most of us are ignorant when it comes to technology. I know I have no problem telling people what I'm ignorant in, and I have no problem telling them what they're ignorant in. I should stop. I should stop. I'm joking, not. Kinda, sorta not. But we were able to see the masked gunman. We were able to see the porch guy, right? This boat has cameras on it. I'm hoping, I'm praying we have the same kind of gotcha that we had in Nancy Guthrie. Again, from the beginning of this case, this is in federal hands. I truly believe we're going to have resolution in this case before we have any resolution in Nancy Guthrie's case or Sebastian Rogers' case or any other case that's being handled by local government. At the end of the day, we should have, at some point, the will of the people should have a right to force the hand of the sheriff. Right now, we have no laws across this country, even though every one of us knows that corruption lives and exists in just about every facet of politics across this country. We know that. So do our politicians. They know that they create corruption. They know the ones that do. Some of them stay away from it. Some of them are not corrupted or corruptible, right? There are a few that are not corruptible. But for the most part, everybody knows corruption exists in our communities. Everybody. So why have they not? We're about to celebrate 250 years And while corruption wasn't as widespread as it is today, it's widespread today. And we, the people, should have laws that allow us to take our cases out of these yahoos' hands and put it into hands that are willing to work to get the job done. I am so sick and tired of these hunky-bunk, Barney Fife, backwoods sheriff's departments wreaking havoc on people's lives, investigating and mucking up these criminal investigations. And that's exactly what's happening across this country, and why we're not getting the type of service in these cases closed like we should be. So we, the people, should have rules and laws in place to help us take these away from these corrupted politicians, corrupted sheriffs, corrupted bodies, and move them on. Because I know of 2 cases right now that should be in federal hands that are not, and that is Sebastian Rogers and Nancy Guthrie. And those are the ones that we know about. You cannot tell me there is not hundreds, if not thousands of cases nationwide right now that needs the help of the federal government. Yet they are going to be put on the back burner and be made to wait decades for justice because of some silly nincompoop running some backwoods hunky-bunk sheriff's department. I'm tired. We should have stuff that's going to help the victims. At the end of the day, it shouldn't be about me. It shouldn't be about the sheriff's department. It should be about the victim. It should always be about solving the case as expediently as possible, because when you get it done and you get these people behind bars, the case is closed, the bleeding stops for the taxpayers. The bleeding stops for the taxpayers. We need these investigations. These county sheriffs are too lazy, they get too sidetracked, they don't have the staff, they don't have the manpower, and they damn sure don't have the balls and backbones in many cases to bring the case to a close. What do? I want the government to tell me, what do we do? Do we just sit here and twiddle our thumbs? That is inexcusable to me. That is inexcusable to any taxpayer. So what do? What is the answer? What is the solution? And it's sad. But I'm happy to say that at least Lynette is going to have justice. I truly believe right now we're just in a matter of time wait. They are preparing this case. Brian Hooker he's already been labeled the suspect. Okay? So this is not one of these things where we have to worry about, is he a suspect? Is he a person of interest? They've already identified him as a person of interest. No, actually, as a suspect. Okay? He is a suspect. They've already put handcuffs on him and put him behind jail, behind bars on suspicion of homicide. So they didn't have the case together to arrest him. It never changed his status. He's still the suspect. So we have a suspect. We have, the federal government that is handling this case and has already taken their boat, has already seized the boat, has already started processing the boat, has already collected evidence and started sending it off to have it tested. We are on arrest watch. Brian Hooker, due to his statements and the fact his statements were bullshit, and we all know that, he's going to be arrested. It is only a matter of time when he is arrested. Is he going to be arrested this week? Is he going to be arrested next month? Is he going to be arrested in 2 months, in 6 months? I don't know when he's going to be arrested. I can tell you, as soon as they can link that Lynette got on that boat, as soon as they can prove that she went on that boat, he's done. All they have to prove is she stepped one toe on that boat. Now, they do have to prove that he was the ultimate unaliver. He ultimately murdered her. But as soon as they can prove she stepped a toe on the soulmate, his whole entire story goes to crap. And if his whole entire story goes to crap, that means he lied about what happened to his wife. And there's no excuse to lie about what happened to your wife unless you know something bad happened to her and you did it. He was the only person around. Motive means an opportunity. They do not need to prove motive. However, we already know the motive. He's volatile when he's drunk. He was drunk. Case closed. So that's where we are with this case. We've got lights. We've got flare guns. We've got splashes. And now, folks, we've got footage from inside that cockpit of that boat. What is the FBI, Secret Service, Department of Homeland Security, Department of Defense, or the U.S. Coast Guard going to find on that footage? I bet you it's pay dirt. Because it's going to prove, even if he got those cameras off when he shut everything down at 9:30, I believe those cameras will prove noise. I don't think he thought to turn the cameras off when he was doing what he did. I can tell you here, my camera that looks like this right here, I've got it. I have cameras on the inside. I didn't want people, because people were stalking me. So all of my cameras are installed from the inside of my house pointing out. I didn't put cameras on the outside of my house, fearful that somebody would try to destroy them, because we were going through a lot of stuff and I was very worried about my safety. So my cameras are on the inside of my house. Well, listen to this. Even when I'm not in the living room and that camera on the inside of my window looking out to the yard, it picks me up moving. It picks me up talking. It picks me up cussing. Like it'll just come on and I'll be like, oh, I get a ding that there's motion detector, and it's not. It's me cussing at some politician that I heard on thing. You don't know what that blah, 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 you're talking about, you SOB, right? Did I say that? Did poor sweet little Betty say all that? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Caught all of it. It didn't see me. It didn't see me, but it caught me. I've even caught myself singing on him. Like I was like wondering why am I getting a ding, and you hear me? Right around the house. So I'm just letting y'all know that if those cameras are in, that right there, right here is where they go down to their cabin area, right? So now you got the sounds triggering here. If they're fighting down there, these cameras here are going to hear it. They're going to turn on from the sound. I didn't realize, but my camera, my Blink camera that is like this, you don't need movement to turn it on. It turns on for sound. It turns on for sound, folks. So if I'm here screaming, it's recording. And I know that for a fact because I have the same camera. I have the same service. I know how my service works. I know the capabilities of it, and I know its limitations. Why? Because I have it. So, how does the pink gift box work? Confusing because I went to press on it and press the big pink and it says 10 floating hearts, huh? I don't know. No, you're talking about the hearts. All you do is just push on it. That's what I'm doing right here. See, you just look at the hearts down below. I don't know what you're talking. You might, but you know what? I don't do the whole, I'm not usually the spectator. I'm not on that side of the chat box. So I don't know what you guys look at on that end. Occasionally I do, but I don't really check out all that. The sound, the funnel right up the staircase, that sound funnel right. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Is that it might actually pick up a portion of their altercation, even if it's not picking up the video, them moving and fighting. It sounds like every time they get in a fight, it's down inside their residence. They don't fight out in public. They don't fight on top of their boat. They're not at Chris and Katie Proudfoot where the neighbors are hearing them bring their fights outside. They're, because of the abuse, because they've been together 25 years and clearly they've hidden the drinking and the abuse from a lot of people. They're very private with that aspect of their life. So I truly believe that it's whatever they do, whenever they fight, it's down here. It's never where anybody could ever see. They like to have the facade that they're enjoying life and this is their retirement and they love being around each other and have no problems. That's the facade that they want everybody around them out there in the public to see. And then when they get back, that's when things get bad, in my opinion. Oh, thank you for the star. Thank you, Sort of Morta. Thank you, Sort of Morta. Hey, Kimberly, it's nice to see you. Just a thought. Just a thought. Now, there's one case here that I think we're going to be looking into, and I'm sorry, I meant to show this at the beginning of the case, because this is pretty interesting. This lady here disappeared with a dude, and this is the dude that's now arrested for... He hasn't been charged with her homicide. They did find the woman. She is deceased. He's in jail. I anticipate him having upgraded charges. And I forgot the names of these folks, though. That's why I didn't go through this. So Karen Deanne Hollis, and that was from Alabama. We have an Alabama person in here. That was from Northport, Alabama. After sending a late-night text message. And then, of course, Randall Lyndall DeJourney is the one that's exhibited here, and he's been charged with what is he charged with? I can't remember what he's charged with, but I think he's charged with kidnapping or some stupid... It's a stupid charge just to get him behind bars and hold him, but it's not the homicide charge. And I think it's going to be upgraded. I think he's going to ultimately be upgraded with a homicide charge. But this case right here, I think I'm going to dive into a little bit. I think this is close to home. This is something that's interesting. It's not really like a logic defying case, but it's definitely one that has twists and turns to it that I think would be palatable for the Bullhorn Betty channel. These are a little bit easier cases for me to cover than the kids. I will be honest with you. The kid cases, they hurt my soul. They really do. But we'll do what we need to do to advocate for them. But this one here is a little bit different. We also have another one of a 16-year-old. Her stepfather's in jail right now. I think the mom needs to go to jail. We might be looking into that case as well. That's a case that has some disturbing factors. If mom goes to jail soon, I'll probably just, monitor that case from afar. If mom doesn't go to jail soon, that might be something that we might take part in, because the details of this 16-year-old are horrible. And it makes it very difficult for me to believe the mom did not know something. And from everything I'm reading, and we'll leave it at that for right now until I can get the stories put together and brought up here. But this was one that was just picked up. I just happened to see it on a case that we might be looking into soon. Before we go, this is the newest interview. We already talked about Darlene once before. She did an interview with Ashley Banfield from her home, her Florida home. She might still be in her Florida home. She might be back in Michigan. It's getting a little hot. Give me a second. Here we go. So I don't remember when, I didn't put the date on here, when she gave her first interview to Ashley Banfield. Excuse me. But she did give us a lot of great information about the details of what Brian told her. I also want to let everybody know it took Brian over 24 hours. Lynette missing 24 hours, a full day, not a few minutes, not a few hours, 24 hours before he reached out to either her daughter or her mother. That should have been the first red flag, because I tell you what, I don't think that as soon as an emergency happens, you're calling family before you call law enforcement. But I know for a fact, for me and for most normal people, after you call the law enforcement, you're usually on the phone with the family to tell them what happened, to start getting family start heading out there to help you, with searching or whatever, or keeping them, at least knowledgeable that, oh my gosh, something happened. Guys, I need to put you on notice. Lynette's missing. You guys might need to come out here and help us search for her. We don't know what happened. She fell off the boat. That's almost immediate. You don't wait 24 hours to get the kahunas to finally talk to them. And that's what it felt like. Somebody waited 24 hours to try to get their story straight. Right? And that's very upsetting. So this is the second time she's spoken with Ashley. And so let's listen.
Yes, sir.
So the biggest one is that Lynette's boat and Brian's boat, soulmate, is now in the custody of the United States Coast Guard. That must have been quite a nice piece of news to receive.
That was my Mother's Day present. Yes, that was good. Yeah.
So how much are you following along with everything that's happening to the extent that you can?
As much as I can. So I get most of my information from the podcasts, primarily you. So, and the Coast Guard calls me on, and gives me brief updates.
I think that, that's fair. I think Ashley has earned this one. Like I said, she went out there to the Bahamas. She made connections. She was able to talk to the family. She was able to get the mom as well as the daughter on her show. She was able to speak to the rescue workers that went out there and had first contact before anybody had contact with Brian. They were the ones that had first contact, were literally the first responders to Brian and this, my wife fell off the dinghy event. So she really did her job out there. She is giving us the opportunity to speak about this case in a much more educated fashion than our speculation would have given us, because we would have to speculate about a lot of this stuff, because we don't have it. We weren't physically out there. I don't have a passport to go out to the Bahamas. The Bahamas are only like 100 miles from our shores here in Florida. So, I mean, I could easily get there. I just don't have the proper credentialing to get there. So, Ashley Banfield, in all fairness, has dominated this case, has really brought a lot of information to this case. Hey, Rena, it's nice to see you. Thank you. Back at you, babe. Back at you. Cheers. She was able to bring a lot of attention to this case and a lot of factual information because of her connections she's made, and it's given us the ability to really explain this case and keep people educated about this case properly. We do speculate a little bit, but we have a lot more facts that we can speculate on and what those facts mean, hardcore facts, and that is 100% due to Ashley Banfield. So where credit is due, we will always give that. And hearing her mom say, because you guys don't realize is that when the families are cut off just like we are, and everybody gets all upset and like, oh, you're such a grifter, why are you bothering, why are you getting involved? Like, because you got to understand the families rely on social media. That's what you guys don't understand. That's what the hate channels don't understand. There's many family members that rely on our coverage, that rely on and getting information, because they're not getting it from law enforcement either. So the only way that these families are getting information is from people and their sources and their years of working, cases and getting to know people and having people higher up in the food chain of these federal departments. It's very important that you have people you can call. If you guys notice, this whole entire country is getting a shakeup. It's been getting a shakeup since 2015. We, the people, want politicians that we can reach out and touch, right? When I pick up the phone and I want to speak to my governor, I don't want to have to go through mouthpieces, right? So what do? We install people that we know personally. We install people that we can get to personally. This is happening all over the country. So at some point, we will have the connections, but it takes a long time to work there. It takes a long time to instill that trust. That Ashley Banfield has been around the block many times. She knows a lot of people. She's been involved in a lot of stuff. So she has the connections. And when she's able to reach out to her sources and get some factual information, then you got to remember the family, they're not getting this information from anywhere else. Just to put that into perspective. Oh, thank you for the sunshine on a cloudy day. Okay, stop. So it's good to hear her say that, it's not good, that she's hearing all this from news. I think they should be getting information from law enforcement specifically, but they have an integrity of an investigation, and we have a job to do, right? And our job is to bring information. I don't have the connections that Miss Ashley Banfield does. One day I will, And until then, we rely on the people that can get us the information we need, and so do the families. And that's important. I think that's really important to let people know as well.
So, yeah, as much
Thank
as
God.
yeah.
I'm always glad to hear when officials actually take into account,
Yes.
families and loved ones who
Which
are
a lot of
waiting
times
for
they don't.
information. So I'm glad that the
Ask
Coast
Seth
Guard
Rogers.
Investigative Service is doing that. What are your thoughts about just the idea that so much is coming off of that boat? I mean, they are retrieving a lot of stuff.
Oh, that's, I was wondering how they were doing, what they were doing. But
They're
it
going
seems
through
that
everything.
They would almost have to disassemble portions of the
Yep.
boat, I guess.
That's exactly what they have
I
to
don't
do.
know. I don't know the process for them in that area. So,
Well, I'll tell you what, the nice thing is when you see these agents getting on board, and we can see them because we've got people who are helping us get videos from all around that boat. You can see them, getting on board and carrying things off, lots of things, putting it into evidence bags, which is really key. I mean, when they put things into evidence bags, it means it's important and they want to protect the chain of custody. So that's got to feel good that at least, the Americans are getting things that maybe the Bahamians didn't.
right. I'm hoping for that anyhow.
We got the boat. Okay, you guys know me. I mean, I believe that this is the crime scene. We got the boat. The Bahamians got the dinghy. We've got the boat. Okay. Again, cameras are on this boat. Lights are on this boat. Equipment's on this boat. Recordings, black box type recordings are on this boat. Things that Brian wasn't thinking about in the heat of the moment, right? Those are things that he forgot to turn off and forgot to do. There's going to be mistakes because this is an oh shit factor. I guarantee we have the oh shit factor. Oh shit, what have I done? Right? So I truly believe in that oh shit factor moment, somebody was called. I believe many people in this oh shit factor call, they phone a friend in many cases. That friend could be a relative. That friend could be their best friend. That friend could be a sibling. They phone a friend. Typically, they phone a friend, I've done a terrible thing. Right? I've done a terrible thing. Most of the time, you get that. Why? Because these are normal people that did something terrible. Okay? This guy was living a normal life his entire life, and now it went too far, and he's in a oh shit, what have I done? It's called the oh shit factor. That's what I describe it. And how is that? What is this oh shit factor? The oh shit factor, for me, it means that somebody basically flew off the handle. It's one of these situations where typically it's not a planned event. It's something where they have a volatile personality. So something could set them off and they can just go from 0 to 60 like that, right? And it's what it refers to is that they act before they think, and they lunge or hurt or fight or abuse or something, and they're so forceful that by the time they release or stop, the damage is done. The person is gone. They're dead. Okay? And they're like, oh shit, what did I do? That's the oh shit factor. Now, in that oh shit factor area, you've got endorphins, you've got adrenaline, you've got all of these things pumping in that person's body. Now, the problem when all of that stuff is pumping in that person's body, their brain is running a mile a minute. They can't think of everything, and they're just flying by the seat of their pants. So a lot of mistakes are going to be had. When I see something that's that could potentially have the oh shit factor attributed to it, I expect a call. For example, I believe the oh shit factor was affiliated and attributed to Katie Proudfoot. I believe she has a fuse. I think she wanted to hurt her. I think she had it in her mind to take her son out, but she just couldn't do it until she got angry enough. I believe that there's been thoughts in her mind long before her son disappeared. But I also believe she has an explosive personality, because there is a thumbprint on that boy's Adam's apple. And there's no way you're going to get a thumbprint on somebody's Adam's apple without using a lot of force with your hands to produce that thumbprint on somebody's Adam apple. So I believe she had already yoked her son up once before. But you got to remember, she was on the phone with Chris Proudfoot for 3 hours, 2.5 to 3 hours. And that is the oh shit factor dynamic. Oh shit, what have I done? Phone a friend, right? And her phone a friend to me is her husband, Chris Proudfoot. Here, we don't know who his phone a friend was, but I believe there was a friend that was phoned. So I'm waiting to see his phone records or his text messages. I'm pretty sure he would use the phone. He would have been smart enough to call somebody versus texting him. But very interested in all of that information. And I'm very interested in, if they stayed on the phone for an extended period of time, what the search history of a computer that person he called was. Not necessarily his search history, but his phone a friend's search history on the computer. Very interesting stuff. A lot of people never look into that. But I think it's very interesting to look into. So I'm still here waiting to hear some major information about this case. I believe that out of all 3 cases we're covering right now, Sebastian Rogers, Nancy Guthrie, and Lynette Hooker, I believe Lynette Hooker is going to be solved quicker. I believe she's going to be the quickest to be solved with or without a body. I believe Brian is going to be arrested with or without a body. And the reason why I believe that is because the federal government is involved and they know how to build a circumstantial case. They're very, very clever and creative on building a circumstantial case, one which many states should be looking at and mimicking when it comes to lawsuits or when it comes to homicides or other violent crimes with circumstantial evidence. They need to start looking at the federal government and how the federal government is processing those, because we know that there's a lot of state laws that are derived from federal laws. So we know we have the laws in these states to bring circumstantial cases. So why isn't more circumstantial cases coming forward? Why are these murderers and people that injure people allowed to sleep in their own bed for years and decades before they're brought to justice? Enough is enough. We're tired of that dynamic. And we're tired of the excuses from law enforcement. If you don't know what the hell you're doing, or whether you have a big PP or not, we don't care anymore. If you can't get the job solved, hand it off. If there's the ability to bring in the federal government and give the federal government the case, give the federal government the case. Why? Because they don't dick around. They don't let these things stretch out for years and years and years if they can help it. And they will literally throw everything at it until it is solved. And that's what we demand and what we expect. Yet too many families around this country get shit on by their ignorant, uneducated law enforcement body. And I say that with all love, because there are just some places that don't have the types of crimes the rest of us have, and there's no ability for them to be experienced in those types of crimes. So it's not necessarily the worst thing in the world. It's just the fact that you're ignorant because you don't have the type of crime. And if you don't have the type of crime, you can't be experienced in it. That's the problem. And law enforcement bodies should know that. They should know they are ill-equipped for the job. Many of them would rather have that case stay open than pass it off and admit that they don't have what it takes to close it. That's what it comes down to. And it should never, life and death should never come down to somebody's pee-pee at a sheriff's department or how far they can pee. It should never, ever, ever come back down to that. Yet we see it more and more in these cases. Tell me we're not seeing it with Sheriff Snuggle Struggles. Tell me we're not seeing it with Nana-Nana-Nanos. Tell me we're not seeing it with those. We are. We know we are. We know that the reason why these cases are in piss poor shape that they're in is because of the lack of proper leadership in law enforcement. So hopefully that changes, but if it doesn't, we need to start fighting for rules that allow us, we the people, to move these cases on when we get people that have pee-pee problems. Okay? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. All right, guys, it's come to that point. We've been here 2 hours. I had to come early. I've got a luncheon to go to. As you guys know, We are a political channel. Well, we are a true crime channel, but I'm a political person as well. Let me say that. So I try to keep some of my politics off here, but as you know, true crime is politics, right? We have to be involved in politics to get our laws that are needed from state to state to protect us and the citizens there, and that's what we do. This is not just a channel that talks about true crimes. This is a channel that activates and advocates to stop us from being able to cover true crime. And I don't know anybody in this world, especially the ones that love to call us grifters, why they wouldn't want to put an end to violence in this country. Well, each and every day, not only do we cover the violence here on this channel, I go out there and try to prevent it all around this country with common sense laws and putting the right people in office around this country that can get the job done. We do not, as American people, need to live like this anymore. We do not need to live in fear. We have a right to live in peace. And by God, I'm going to fight until the day they put me in this ground for that peace for all of us, not just me. All right, guys, rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe, but more importantly, kind to one another. And we will see you soon. But she wants to say hi first. Come on. Come on. Jump. Jump. You're not going to get Mommy's dress dirty. Come on. Up. Up. Oh, come here. She doesn't want to get my dress dirty. Oh, there's a baby. Such a sweet, sweet baby. Look at that little face. Say, I want my mommy back. I want my mommy back. She's in a dress, but she needs to go play with me. I require her attention. But you are wonderful. Thank you, guys. Thank you. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. Say bye, coffee club. I'm going to go steal my mommy until she's got to go to her luncheon. And then I have to be here by myself. Bye, guys. We love you. Have a great day, guys. We'll see you soon.